Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be speaking for the motion. Benjamin Franklin said, "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn." So the transfer of surgical skills from one generation to next usually followed the apprenticeship model of see one, do one, and teach one. But unfortunately, there are real-time pressures during the procedure, and the patient can be an unforgiving teacher. It is less acceptable in the modern world because of high expectations of the patients and decreased tolerance to medical errors. There are also legal and ethical concerns in terms of disclosure and informed consent. So, safety and efficacy cannot be sacrificed for educational purposes. What are the problems with this model? The attending surgeon is primarily an observer with limited ability to intervene. Secondly, it is very difficult to give real-time feedback because the patients are awake. And any error in the early stage of the procedure can lead to downstream complications. And more importantly, intraocular microsurgery has a narrow tolerance for intraoperative error. So, to address the ethical and the practical issues of surgical teaching, a wet lab is essential. All the evidences support us. Ramani et al. Reported decreased frequency of intraoperative complications and better postoperative visual outcome in residents who had undergone wet lab training. Similarly, Bailey and other colleagues reported reduced phaco time, phaco power, and complications rate. Pantanelli et al. Reported reduced incidence of posterior capsular tears. It is now globally accepted that wet lab is essential. The Accreditation Council of US requires residencies have either a wet lab or a surgical simulator. The Royal College of Ophthalmologists expects trainees to undertake a simulation on regular basis. In India, it is now adopted by almost all the tertiary care centers. The classical wet lab training of Arvind Eye Care System includes practice of suturing techniques under the operating microscope, use of goat's eyes and cadaver's eyes to practice different surgical steps, followed by use of surgical simulators, and then instruction in phacoemulsification technique using a goat eye model before moving to live surgery. There are many advantages of wet lab. Skills can be developed by practice and repetition. Trainees can practice in a safe environment with permission to fail and learn the natural consequences of the mistakes. The learning environment is less stressful and stress is recognized as a barrier to learning. It enhances the confidence and the surgical skills of the residents. Even the residents in the feedback have mentioned that it improved the knowledge with regards to surgical instruments and provided an opportunity to practice technical maneuvers. To summarize, it helps the residents to master the hand-eye coordination, establishes tissue dexterity, tissue awareness, dexterity, and muscle memory required to perform each step. It reduces complications and improves visual outcomes, and overall it boosts the confidence of the trainee. You'll be surprised to know that simulation has been practiced in India as long as 600 BC when Sushruta used clay and leaf models to simulate a forehead flap nasal reconstruction. With India being considered as one of the centers of global excellence, wet lab should be incorporated in all residency programs. Thank you, and I invite you to the All India Conference next year.